Good evening, everybody. As you could see at the beginning there, Maelstrom Marina veteran when the map was open. Uh, this is going to be going over my perfect run that I just did. Not a true perfect run, but almost. I'm going to go over gear. So I'm running Deadly Strike, Ansel's Perfected. Uh, Ansel's Perfected, and between Deadly and Perfected, really not a difference. Not too much, just a line of crit. I like to run Black Rose daggers on the back bar, but only because that's just a preference. You can use Maelstrom bow or whatever you want. Maelstrom greatsword's probably more damage with Stampede and Carve, but I like Black Rose for the deadly cloak buff for extra mitigation on the back bar with Solar Barrage. So running Deadly Strike front bar and Black Rose Prison back bar. Ansel's Perfected on the body, and a one-piece Pale Order ring. Now, the Pale Order on the Templar is just very, very, very strong. Mixed with jabs, it's like a constant heal every time you do damage. It's just ridiculous. I'm doing one-piece penetration for Crags. With one-piece penetration, just for the extra penetration because I'm solo and I'm wearing medium armor, so need a little bit more penetration than normal. I'm also using a heavy piece just for a little bit more survivability. You're probably better off with a max stamina piece there, but I have a tri-stat and I just don't feel like changing it right now. But everything else, max stam and divines, obviously. Jewelry's bloodthirsty with physical harm enchants. Back bar daggers are both infused. One is got a weapon damage enchant. The other one, I believe, is poison or flame enchant. Front bar weapons, Nirnhoned and Sharp Nirnhoned and Charged. And also is a flame and poison enchant. Ring of the Pale Order, like I said, just very, very strong. It's with Templar, it's just crazy strong. You just have to. It just makes it very easy to go through this arena. If you're on Templar, other classes, it still performs well, but not as well in my opinion. So Templar is specific to this. I run Orc. Again, it's about the same damage as Dark Elf. Dark Elf might come out a little bit more because they have a little bit of max magical line as well. But for this gives you a little bit of max health, and when you deal damage, you heal for about 2.2 health, 2.2k health. It's not a lot, but it does help, especially in this arena. And then it gives you 1,000 max stam as well. For skills, I'm going to be running front bar. Actually, let's go over champion points first. So, champion points, Wrathful Strikes, Deadly Aim, Thaumaturge, and Fighting Finesse. You can swap Fighting Finesse out for Exploiter or something else if you're at the crit damage cap or close to it. You can put in Biting Aura or, like I said, Exploiter. Or you can run Reaving Blows, which is another helpful node in Maelstrom Arena, because it heals you as you do damage, kind of like the Pale Order ring, and they do stack. It doesn't cancel each other out. So gear, Resolving Vigor, Repentance for resource drain and draining bodies, which there's plenty of adds to drain, Biting Jabs, that's your main spammable, and then Camouflage Hunter for a passive damage boost. You don't have to use it, but it gives you some minor berserk if you attack from flank, and passive damage boost from Major Savagery, Minor Savagery, and Minor Prophecy. So, and then Radiant Glory, I like that better than Radiant Oppression, just for this particular and most content, honestly, because the heal it gives is just very, very strong. A little bit less damage, but not by much. Flawless Dawnbreaker for the passive damage boost from the Fighters Guild passive. I'm not really using this too much unless the boss is moving around a lot. Otherwise, I use Solar Disturbance from the back bar for the passive major maim it gives. It's just more mitigation extra damage reduction, so it's very helpful. For her back bar skills, Razor Caltrops for the major breach it gives. It reduces physical and spell resistance of enemies. I always try to throw one of these down at all times underneath the enemy, just to give me more damage. Ritual Retribution, nice AoE damage source, plus it removes negative effects when you stand in it. Then we're running Barb Trap for the passive damage boost. We do throw it out and proc it for minor force as well, and it does some good dot damage with hemorrhaging. And then next skill is going to be Solar Barrage, which basically increases the damage of all your class abilities by 5% when you use this. Plus it's got some very nice AoE damage. And then last but not least is Deadly Cloak, which is the reason I'm running Black Rose Prison Daggers, is for this skill particularly. Black Rose gives it a nice buff, plus this has a nice shield on it. It decreases damage to you, and it also deals out damage in an AoE fashion. So it's very, very nice skill to have. But again, you can use Maelstrom Bow or, like I said, Maelstrom Greatsword if it's better for you. But honestly, I prefer Black Rose Prison Daggers. It's just a preference and specific to me. You don't have to run them. They're very good either way, and anything really works, whatever your preference is and what you're comfortable with. This arena here is not that difficult. This is mainly a run through, just killing ads. I didn't go over the red tree. Real quick, I'll do that without going into it, but basically we run Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, which is the top 3 on the left in the red tree, and then for our 4th node, you're going to be running Thrill of the Hunt. It's a very, very good node for this particular arena, because what it does is after every kill, you get 6 seconds of Major Expedition. All right, and that's 30% extra movement speed, which is fantastic in this arena for getting around. Especially in the ice level when that pesky troll is trying to break your ice flows. This makes it very easy to get over there and interrupt him so you can save your ice flows, because if one of those goes down, you are not going to be surviving that arena. So that's the red tree. Green tree, obviously, it's whatever you want. So back to this arena. It's not that bad. This one is just pretty much killing ads and avoiding that stupid AoE that follows you around. The AoE doesn't hurt really bad unless you just stand there and stand in it, constantly. As long as you're moving around and not letting it hit you too much, it's really not that big a deal. More of an annoyance than anything. Like I said, you always want to have some caltrops down, proc a major breach on the enemies. Throw up Deadly Cloak, Solar Barrage, or if you're on another class, make sure your shields are up. And caltrops you can use on any class, and it's very versatile and works in a lot of good situations for solo play. Group play, it's still a good dot, but you're getting major breach from the tank probably through their puncture skill. So, don't necessarily need Razor Caltrops. It's good for getting like an AoE major breach on like trash ads where the tank can't poke everything. But, that's pretty much it. So last boss here is just a stack and burn. You can pretty much burn this dude before he teleports away, if you have burn. But if you don't, just, do your best, kill him, and just follow him around and damage him. He really doesn't do too much mechanics. He summons a friend, but as you can see, the friend died pretty quickly, and so did he. But don't take this as something that you might be able to do without fully optimizing in damage like I have. And again, this is Templar on my class, and just to show you real quick the red tree. Balanced Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and then, like I said, Thrill of the Hunt is in one of these pink nodes here down the bottom. Not the bottom, but Right there. Thrill the Hunt. Perfect. It's a very, very good skill. You can also use Celerity if you prefer that, but Thrill the Hunt is just overall better in Maelstrom Arena for the simple fact that it increases your movement speed by 30%. Celerity only increases it by 10%. So it's just much, much better in this regard. But again, Celerity is good for other situations where like there's not a lot of ads, not a lot of things that you're killing like over and over again, so you're not proccing Thrill the Hunt a lot. And Celerity is good for just a flat movement speed bonus all the time without having to do anything to proc it. Alright, so back to the arena. As I said, you can try to outburn some of the mechanics in these arenas, but I wouldn't. This is if your first time trying on Vet, or if you're new to Vet Maelstrom, I would just do the mechanics, get used to them, try them out, because you may not have the same burn and survivability that I do. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to warn you that you may not be able to recreate what I'm doing here, because like I said, I've been doing this for a while and I know where the enemy placement is, I know how to dodge stuff, I know where the mechanics are, and I have a lot of burn, so where I can kill stuff very, very quickly. So I don't have to worry about some of the mechanics. Most of the mechanics you still have to worry about, but like on bosses, sometimes you can just burn the bosses and just not worry about the outside ads. But if you don't have the burn, or if you're not familiar with the arena, then you don't want to do that. You definitely want to take care of the ads because they can overwhelm you very quickly. This arena here, also, I don't think it's that bad. I recommend not using the levers, just letting the fans do their thing. With Thrill the Hunt on, you can literally just outmaneuver them because you're moving so fast after killing enemies. And with Pale Order, or even just Resolving Vigor, I can do this without the Pale Order. You can out-heal the fans. It's really, the damage isn't that bad unless you're standing directly in the fan constantly. When they're just passing by you, it's a little bit of a damage, a little bit of a damage hit, but it's not that bad. So I recommend just leaving the fans, because when you hit the lever, I don't remember exactly what happens because it's been so long since I've touched that lever, but I'm pretty sure it messed up one of my runs because it stopped the fans, but it also made the ads do something, or there was some kind of explosion in the middle or some stuff, and it killed me. It sucked. So I just let it run, honestly. The ads here, mostly just Centurions, Spheres, Spiders, some Clockwork, little things. But all in all, they're pretty easy ads. Once you get to the boss here, this boss is really annoying. I recommend trying to burn this first one down, all the way down, and killing it. But if you can't, and he does that nonsense, you're just going to have to bounce back and forth between all three of these stupid-ass bosses. They like to just shield themselves one after another and make you bounce around like a friggin' ping pong ball all day. And it's so annoying. I recommend not doing what I'm doing. I recommend staying at range. That way they have to come to the middle guy, and they're all stacked on top of each other. That way you can just drop a bunch of AoEs on top of them, and as they get up, they're all getting damaged at the same time, so you don't have to keep bouncing back and forth around the whole arena. It's just easier that way if you just stay at the middle guy and hit those guys from range and make them come to you. Me, I'm stubborn, and I like to get this done quick, and I just want to kill the pricks. And so I just run at them and get it done as quickly as possible. But it might be easier to just group them up over by the middle guy and just drop all your ground dots, your AoEs, and just start burning all three of them at the same time. But again, you can do it whatever way you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. Boss isn't that hard. It's just about dodging the fans and killing those bosses when they're unshielded. Next arena, Drum of Toxic Shock. This one is also not that bad. Things don't start getting annoying until the ice level. Uh, this here is pretty much just a bunch of ads. There's some poison here and there. The stranglers are annoying. They snare you. So every time you see a strangler, I recommend taking it out as quick as possible so you can regain your movement speed. Stay out of the water as much as possible because as you can see, it's electrified most of the time. Thrill of the Hunt, again, is very, very good for this. You can get across the water quickly to the other islands without much damage because you're moving so fast it really doesn't register. But this whole fight, I mean, the only two annoying parts of it are the lightning water and the Queen's Champion. The mage one, she kind of looks like a hag raven because she'll start out in the middle of the water, and if you're close enough to her, she will like chain you to her and like drop you right in the center of the electrified water, and it'll end up killing you. So if you know where she spawns, which is on the opposite side from where you're at, right where I'm at right now, on the other side of the water, when she starts to come out, I recommend being on the far island. That way, she has to come to you, so she doesn't chain you into the water, because that can be an insta wipe sometimes if you're not quick and get out of the water quickly. This is one of her mini bosses, another champion. This guy's not that bad. Just stay out of those AoEs. Watch out for his heavy attacks. Again, I'm burning the bosses first because I have good burn and good survivability. But you may want to approach it differently by taking out the ads first and then focusing on the boss. Because if you're trying to kill the boss while these ads are attacking you and snaring you and all that shit, it might take you down pretty quickly if you haven't done this a lot before. So just keep that in mind. You might not necessarily want to take the burn strategy like I'm doing. Might be better for you to just focus the ads, let the boss do his thing, just dodge his attacks and kill all the ads. Here's the other champion here, the mage I was talking about. See that I'm on the opposite island? She had to come all the way over here and wasn't able to chain me into the water where she started because I was far away. That's how you want to do this, because if you're over on one of these other islands, she will just grab you and stick you right in the middle of the water. Final round, again, I like to just burn this boss down and ignore the ads, because once she's dead, the ads despawn. But again, you may not be able to do that if this is your first time running vet, or if you're new to running vets. I would definitely avoid her, focus the ads down, and then deal with her, because she does that stun scream, and it stuns you. You have to break free, and if you get hit with that plus the ads all hitting you and you don't break free quick enough, and it will probably drain your health pretty quickly and you're gonna die. Sets flywheel. Also, not that bad. There aren't any crazy mechanics. The only thing I would worry about is the little clockwork, mousy looking guys that basically they spawn and they go to the middle of the arena and they kind of like hook in to the ground and they get a shield. And once they get the shield, they start shooting these little lightning AoEs at you that do decent damage and is very annoying. So I recommend killing those clockwork sentries like before they even get to the middle as quick as you can, and dealing with them like that, because once they get the shield up, the shield can be burned through and then they die pretty quickly, but it's just easier to kill them before they get to the middle and get that shield. Everything else is pretty much just regular ads, spheres, regular trash ads, until you get to the final boss. There is a group of named enemies that come out. It's like a little mini boss before the final boss that I guess are a little bit more difficult than the rest of the ads, but not too bad. Spheres are also very, very, very dangerous, especially when they come in groups, because they do like a charge up attack that shoots like a wall of lightning along the ground at you. And if you get hit by two of those, it might drain your health down pretty far. And if you're getting hit by other ads at the same time, it'll kill you. So you got to keep an eye out for that and try to kill the spheres quickly as well. You see this sentry has a shield. Like I said, you can burn it down. They do die quickly. Again, don't take this as a representation of what you may be able to do, because I don't know what your build is and I don't know how much you can burn. But what I'm doing here is outburning a lot of the stuff because I have high damage. So, and Pale Order is just healing me up as I'm doing damage. It's, like I said, the combo with the Templar and the Pale Order ring is just very, very strong in my opinion. Here's the trio of named ads here. They're not too bad. And again, this is just my opinion and my experience. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so not many things in here bother me except for the ice level and the poison level and the stupid fire level. This boss, you want to stay underneath him when he first spawns. You can see the green AoE. That means it's safe underneath him. If you go out of that AoE, he will start hitting you with attacks. So you got to stay underneath him until that AoE goes away. Once it goes away, you need to get out quickly because he'll be spouting fire beneath him like that. And then once you're out from underneath him, he's going to start shooting like meteor fire AoEs all around. So you kind of just want to circle the arena and stay out of the AoEs until the green AoE appears underneath him again, and it's safe to be underneath him. And just keep switching back and forth like that. Okay, this is where it gets annoying. Ice level sucks. So these 3 ice flows that you can see, you need to stay on these. If you go inside the water for too long, it will hurt you and kill you very quickly. It's very damaging, which is another reason why Thrill the Hunt is so good on this arena. You can just get across the water very quickly. If you're not comfortable or you don't think you're capable of getting across to the trolls in time, even with Thrill the Hunt, I recommend slotting a ranged interrupt like Crushing Shock or Venom Arrow for the archery skill line, or a gap closer like Stampede, or for the Templar, Toppling Charge is real good. That's a gap closer / interrupt, whatever you think you can use. But you know, as I said, Thrill the Hunt is pretty good for getting across to the other ice flows very quickly, so you don't have to worry about taking away a skill to slot something else. But like I said, if you're not comfortable and you don't think you're proficient in spotting the trolls and getting over them quick enough, then I'd recommend slotting a ranged interrupt, Crushing Shock, Venom Arrow, or a gap closer to get over there quick, like was it the Shield Bash one from the one-handed skill line, or Stampede from two-handed, Toppling Charge, the Templar skill line. But either way, gotta make sure you kill those trolls, because if you don't interrupt them, they will break the ice flow that they're slamming on. And if you lose one ice flow before the final boss, you're not going to complete this. You're going to be stuck without an ice flow fighting the final boss. And as soon as you get in that water for more than like 5 seconds, you're done. It's just, you're dead. So that's the only thing you really have to worry about, is the damn trolls in the earlier rounds. The other ad that is important to kill is the Chillblane. If you get more than one Chillblane up, those little shits shooting them friggin' ice balls at you, they hurt very, very bad. Even they're like little ice light attacks, and they do hurt. these troll-looking guys, the ogres or whatever they are, they do a swipe attack on the ground that creates like three frost lines like that they just did there. And if you get hit even by one of those frost lines, it will drain your health very, very far. If you get hit by that plus other ads attacking you, it's probably going to kill you. So when you see him picking up his club like that, you want to either get behind him or get away from him so you can maneuver in between the three lines. The last boss does the same kind of move, but he has like 5 ice lines as opposed to just 3. There's a lot more lines, so it's kind of more of a pain in the ass, and it hits even harder than these trolls. So again, if you see that club going up like behind him, he's about to swing forward, like I said, try to get behind him or just dodge in between. Last boss here, basically when you damage him and he like has this red glow and like he starts glowing red, you know he's about to break the ice flow that you're on, so you need to move to the next ice flow. I recommend killing the ads as they come out for this guy, because if you get too many ads up, it's like a slow burn, because the more you burn him, the more ads that come out. So you need to burn him until the ads, so you see ads, and then stop burning, kill the ads, then go back to burning him, and just switch back and forth like that. Because these ads will overwhelm you very quickly, especially the Chillblains and the archers. Mixed with his friggin' attack that does that, it's very, very hectic and annoying. Plus there's trolls coming out that you have to interrupt. It's just a pain in the ass. Once you get him onto the final ice flow, after he's broken the other 2, and you get him onto the final one, after that, it's just a burn. You just gotta burn, burn, burn until he's dead. Once you get that done, that's it. I mean, it's a very, very hard level, I'm not gonna lie. It's a pain in the ass. Alright, this one I actually like. It's not that bad. There's these horvers that come out, that if you kill the horvers next to these webbed up pillars, the webs will go away. The acid from the dead horver will like burn away the webs. So I recommend letting the horver get your attention, and then he will follow you wherever you go. So you just take him over to one of the pillars and kill him right next to the webs. If for some reason he dies too far away from the web, then he spawns like a glob on the ground when he dies that you have to go and synergize over and like throw the glob at the web in order to burn the web. If you can't kill it right next to the web, so then you'll have to throw it from a distance and try to get rid of the web. If you unweb all the pillars, then they all turn gold, and it basically like does an AoE stun to any enemies that are on the field. It just stuns them completely. And you can definitely proc this during the boss fight, and you can stun the boss for like half the fight. It's beautiful. Other than that mechanic, there's these swarms of spiders that come out of the ground, and when it says a spider swarm is attacking, you need to go stand next to any one of the golden glowing pillars. Whatever one is brightest, because once the spiders come near the golden pillar, they'll get repelled and they will go away. See, I got all the pillars unwebbed, and it stunned all the enemies. Look at this. Nice. Once you unweb a pillar, the ads start spawning web spinners that will try to re-web up the pillars that you already de-webbed. Here, I'm about to... Where'd it go? It disappeared, never mind. Alright, so I killed that one too far away from the webs. But like I said, if you get in front of the horver and he spots you, he'll he'll follow you over to one of the webs. There's a web spinner like I was talking about. This is a little mini boss. Just watch out for his AoE, you know. Bam, got the AoE stun again. You can do this multiple times throughout the arena if you unweb all the pillars. You can do it a few times. But once you do get that stun off, all the pillars get re-webbed except for one. Now, if you are running Templar, for the smaller ads, you don't really need to bring out your beam, the Radiant Glory, because things die so quickly, you really don't even have time to notice when they go below 40% to start beaming. They die too quickly. But for bosses and like mini bosses, you want to definitely burn them to 40%, and then as soon as they're around 40%, you need to start beaming. The beam can be very, very useful and burn the bosses very quickly once they get below 40. And as you see, I'm like moving so friggin' fast. That thrill of the hunt is just so strong. It's ridiculous. You know, anytime you get a kill, it just increases your movement speed by 30%. It's nuts. I love it for this arena. All right, final round. Drop everything you can when she first comes out. Try to get all your pillars unwebbed so you can make this fight trivial. See, there you go. I just stunned her, and she's going to be stunned for pretty much the entire damn fight. And you just sit there and burn her to death. And she's dead. Alright, another really pain in the ass arena. There's 2 poison cleansing pools at either end of the arena, the green AoEs you see on the screen. If you get near those little plants that are in the ground there, they will start to explode and have an AoE grow around them. If you get hit by the AoE, you will get poisoned. And if you don't get in those cleansing pools quickly, like immediately after you get poisoned, you're going to die very, very quickly. That poison is nasty, and these plants are everywhere. You can get close and run right past them to proc the AoE and then get out, so it doesn't hit you. See, I got hit with poison, and I wasn't even in the AoE. It's got like a bigger radius than what it seems, so be careful. But yeah, you can run right by them to proc the AoE just to get them out of your way, but don't try it unless you feel confident in doing it. Venom Callers, that guy that I just killed there, they need to be killed immediately, because as soon as they come out, they start popping and regrowing all the plants on the level, and they just keep popping and regrowing until you kill them. They're very, very tedious and annoying, so that guy needs to be killed immediately. They always spawn on one of those pads that I'm standing right next to. There's 4 of them in each corner, and they always spawn there. So if you see a portal open up near one of those pads, it's probably a Venom Caller, and you should run straight over to it and start burning. The other ads that are important are the Venom Shots. They they're a pain in the ass. If you get hit by their arrow spray, it's a pretty nasty dot, and it will kill you. Same thing with their, it's like a charge up arrow attack that needs to be interrupted. If you get hit by that, it's a one shot. All the other ads in here aren't that bad. But see me run across, you see me run by that and proc it, it's just to get it out of my way because there was too many plants up. See, here you go, I'll do it again. Venom caller's up. Two venom shots. But yeah, they're annoying. For the boss, when you start burning the boss, when you get him down to a certain point, he's gonna spawn two little lightning ads that come out. You want to kill one of those lightning ads, and then once you kill one, the boss is going to start screaming. On normal, you may be able to interrupt the scream and still survive, but on vet, you cannot bash him while he's screaming. What you have to do is the little lightning ads will create a little dome of lightning around them that you need to hide underneath while the boss is screaming, because the scream alone will destroy you and kill you. And if you bash him while he's screaming, he will become enraged, and then all his next attacks will kill you easily. So you gotta hide under the dome until he stops screaming, and then come out when he's done screaming and just keep burning him with the fight. I'll show you once the fight starts. Venom caller. Alright, after these two trolls are dead, the final boss is going to spawn the next round. Alright, here comes the boss. Alright, so drop everything you have on him when he first comes out. Watch out for his stomp, because he does a stomp attack that shoots out like dirt lines that will knock you off balance. Just keep an eye on that. Alright, so here's Argonian Minders. Those are the lightning ads I was talking about. So you see them, they spawn a dome. You need to hide under it while he's screaming, because if you're out of that dome while he's screaming, you're gonna die. It's instant death no matter what. Once he's done screaming, you kill the minder, then you go back to burning the boss. If you have enough burn, you should only have to go through one phase of that scream shit. If not, you just have to repeat it until he's dead. If you try to bash him while he's screaming, he'll get enraged, and all his attacks will do like ridiculous damage, and even his small light attacks will kill you immediately. So you have to do the lightning dome trick and hide under the dome. This arena, believe it or not, is where I get tripped up a lot. And this is where I get my deaths most of the time. It's because of the stupid flame shapers in this friggin' arena. They need to be interrupted. They're not actually called flame shapers, but they do the exact same attacks as flame shapers. They're called Dremora Kingvalds, with a K. It's a K word, Kyngvald, I think. When they put their staff above their heads and they start channeling and shooting fireballs at you, if you don't interrupt that quickly, it's going to kill you very, very fast. And that's what usually trips me up sometimes. I don't see them, and they're channeling their fireball attack, and I can't get to them fast enough to interrupt. After you kill a bunch of ads, right at the end of each round, those blue pillars will form. One of them will form, and the lurcher will be shielded by the pillar. So you have to break the pillar or damage it until it's not glowing anymore in order to be able to damage the lurcher. That's the main mechanic in this fight. Most of the mini bosses that come out will be shielded by those pillars. And If there's a glowing pillar up, it needs to be damaged and destroyed before you can damage the boss. Other than that, you just have to keep an eye out and watch for those Dremora King Balds and kill them very quickly. There's usually at least one or two in each round, so. Alright, Lurch is out, and there is going to be a pillar that needs to be broken. Nope, I already did that one. It's not glowing. Dude. Yep, this one, dummy. The second to last boss, I mean, there's a little mini boss in the 4th round that you have to destroy one of the pillars to drop her shield. But she also drops, she's a Dragon Knight, and she drops one of those Dragon Knight standard AoEs, and that AoE is devastating. If you don't get out of it as soon as it drops, it will kill you very quickly. And she also likes to chain you right into her Dragon Knight standard ultimate. It's the most annoying thing. It kills you pretty quick. So if you get chained back into that standard, you're most likely going to die, or if you're lucky, you can roll dodge out of it and heal up, but 9 times out of 10, it kills me. Oh, Flame Shaper, King Ball, whatever you want to call it. That's the attack you need to interrupt immediately, because if you let that go on, it will kill you, no doubt. Now here's the Dragon Knight lady. Like, she likes to do her chains and her nonsense. There's a pillar up over there that is shielding her. This chick, once you break the pillar, that's it. She doesn't reform it. There's the Dragon Knight standard. I hate that ability. There, she chained me again. If you don't get out of it, it will kill you quick. It does a lot of damage. Okay, last boss. All right, all three of the blue pillars will be up. You need to break all 3 of them before you can damage the final boss. And once you break all 3 of them, there's only a small window of time where she can be damaged before she reforms all 3 of these pillars, and then you have to go break them again. So once they're broken, drop everything you got on her. But be careful, because she spawns some of those Dremora King Balds, the Flame Shaper dudes, during her fight. And if you're not careful, you're trying to damage her, and those King Balds are channeling their attack, and you don't interrupt it, and they kill you. It's a very annoying fight. A lot going on. See, she reformed the pillars. I gotta break them again. And there's a King Bald over there, little shit. And there's no, like, sound or noise that tells you, okay, there's ads that just spawned. You just gotta keep an eye out for it. And sometimes you don't see it, because, you know, it's tough to see. There's not a lot. Everything kind of blends in with this friggin' arena. Okay, on to the final stage. Now, this is a flawless run. It is a no-death run. It's not technically a true perfect run, because in this final stage, as you will see, I was trying to do a spectral explosion, and I accidentally synergized on one of the power-ups. So I did get a small power-up in this fight, It still count. I mean, even if you do power ups, it still counts towards flawless Dawnbreaker title if you don't have it. So you can use power ups to get the no death and get the title. But no power ups, no deaths is a true perfect run in my opinion. But I accidentally snagged a stupid the friggin' power up, and it was annoying. Alright, so you see those golden ghosts that are flying around? Not the blue ones. The blue ones damage you, and they hurt pretty bad. They do like 8k damage if you get hit by one. But the golden ghosts, if you run into those and you pick 3 of them up, you'll be able to do an ability, a synergy called Spectral Explosion, and it basically stuns everything in the area, kind of like the pillars in that one arena. So yeah, if you see those gold ghosts, I recommend running straight for them and picking them up yourself, because if it hits one of the enemies, it'll buff the enemy up with some more health and damage. This arena, you gotta watch out for those crematorial guards, like the Daedroth, that like the Spitfire. Their fire breath hurts pretty bad. So if you don't kill them quick and the fire breath gets off, I recommend just circling around them either to the right or left to avoid the fire as much as you can. Kind lurkers are annoying. They like to stun you with their Nightblade attacks. Just get ready to break free. There's also enemies that spawn near the edge of the arena, and they start walking towards the middle. Oh, here we go, third ghost. Alright, so I could have sworn that was the third one. No? Alright, never mind. So yeah, they spawn near the edge of the arena, and they start walking towards the middle. Once they get to the middle, they start summoning an enemy. If you let them get that, Spectral Explosion, here we go. Boom, stun the mini-boss. And he gets stunned for a minute, so you can go to town. But yeah, if you let the ad get to the middle and summon the enemy, it'll summon like a big ass ad that you have to fight. So when you see them walking slow towards the middle and then getting to the middle and starting to channel like a ritual, you need to kill them quickly before they summon an even bigger ad to kick your ass. But that doesn't start happening until like round 3, I think. Round 4, I guess, not round 3. The Spectral Explosion with the Gold Ghost, you can do that multiple times, even on the final boss, so I recommend grabbing them as you see them. See, that ad is channeling. There's like a beam coming out from the middle. Yeah, that was the channel. If you don't kill her before she finishes that, then it summons like a big ad, and then you have to fight. It's annoying. There it is right there. Oh, there's a gold ghost. Beautiful. Alright, so it looks like I have a Spectral Explosion ready to go. I think. No. Oh well. Looks like once you have your Spectral Explosion, if you don't use it when the round ends, you lose it. So here's a big Ash Titan. This is not the final boss, but he is tough. If you don't burn him, by the time he does his wing flap and knocks you back, the fight will get harder, because once he knocks you back, he starts slamming the ground and creating fire, like waves of fire at you that do a lot of damage. So once he knocks you back, just be ready to try to dodge those those flames. And you see what just happened? I think I just picked, that's where I picked up the stupid friggin' power up when I tried to do a spectral explosion. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, that's so dumb. Alright, final round. This guy, as soon as he comes out, I recommend burning the shit out of him. If you don't burn him fast, he starts jumping around and doing all kinds of other shit. And once you burn him enough, he goes upstairs, and then you have to kill the clanifer near the glowing rune thing. You see the rune on the ground that's glowing? You have to kill the clanifer next to that in order to activate the portal. And once you go up, you need to start breaking these crystals. But he starts shooting skulls at you. If you don't block before that skull that he just threw at you hits you, it will knock you straight off the edge. And you'll have to come back up and re-kill the clanifer and go through the portal shit again. Also, as you can see, I was standing behind the shield while he was doing his explosion. If you're behind the shield, it also will not knock you off. But here's the skull. You gotta block that, otherwise it'll knock you off. Once you kill these 3 crystals, he comes back downstairs and you can kick his ass. You might have to repeat this process a few times if you don't have the burn to burn him down quick. But yeah, if you got the burn, as soon as he comes down, just drop everything you got on him and burn the shit out of him. Otherwise, you're just going to have to deal with the ads, deal with him, have him run back upstairs, and re-break all the crystals again. And definitely watch out for the summoners in the middle, trying to summon more ads. You could always go for ghosts and do another explosion and stun him, but yeah, that's that Maelstrom right there. If you have any questions for me specifically, feel free to DM me. Other than that, you guys have a good night, and thanks for watching.